So, you know that feeling when you're trying to get your head around how a company works? Or even just like keeping up with world events, it can feel, well, pretty complex.
Absolutely. It's a lot sometimes.
Well, today's deep dive, we're hoping it offers you a bit of a shortcut. We're focusing on something crucial called Enterprise Risk Management, ERM for short.
Yeah, and specifically, we're digging into the COSO framework,
Yeah.
the 2017 update, which is, well, it's pretty much the standard guide for how organizations handle uncertainty.
Exactly. And our mission here for you is really to pull out the key stuff, make it clear,
Yeah.
without all the heavy jargon.
Right. So whether you're prepping for a meeting or maybe you're just curious about business.
Or just want to be informed, really. You'll get why ERM matters. We're basically looking right at the COSO source documents.
And the core idea, it's actually pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Every organization, it exists to create value, right, for its stakeholders.
Mm-hmm.
And doing that always involves facing risks. ERM is just about managing those risks well.
Okay, so maybe let's define a couple of key terms first. Like, what exactly is risk here?
Good place to start. So risk. It's simply the possibility that something might happen, an event, that gets in the way of an organization achieving its goals, its strategy and its business objectives.
Right. Things not going according to plan, essentially.
Pretty much.
Okay, so then what's the full picture? What's enterprise risk management itself?
So ERM, it's the whole integrated package. It's the culture, the capabilities an organization has, and the actual practices it uses.
Integrated. How so?
Well, they're woven into how the organization sets strategy and manages performance, all aimed at managing risk while you're trying to create, preserve, and realize value.
You mentioned value. That seems key. It's not just about profit, is it?
No, definitely not just profit. I mean, for a for-profit, sure, it's about making smart bets, benefits versus costs.
Right.
But for, say, a nonprofit or a government entity, value might look different. Maybe it's delivering services effectively or achieving a social mission while still watching out for pitfalls.
So value can be created.
Yeah, created when benefits outweigh costs. It can be preserved, like maintaining what you've built.
Okay.
It can erode, unfortunately, maybe through bad decisions or just inefficiency. And then finally, it's realized when the stakeholders actually get the intended benefits.
Got it. So ERM helps protect and grow that value by managing the risks. Where does the organization's strategy fit into all this?
This is really central. An organization's fundamental attitude towards risk, how comfortable it is with uncertainty, that actually shapes its core purpose, its
Is that
mission.
made for being?
Exactly. And its aspirations, the vision. And its core values, those guiding beliefs. These are all fundamental to achieving value.
So thinking about risk isn't an add-on. It's like built in from the start.
It should be,
Yeah.
ideally, yeah. And ERM isn't just some back office function. It's reflected in the collective thinking that's the culture piece and in what the organization is actually good at, its capabilities, like being agile. And then the practical methods they use, the practices, it all connects back to setting goals and measuring progress.
Making sure decisions line up with... You mentioned risk attitudes. Is that risk appetite?
Exactly. Risk appetite. That's the amount. And the types of risk an organization is willing to accept to achieve its objectives and create value.
So it's not just one level.
No, it's more like a range. And you first see it reflected in the mission and vision. Staying within that appetite helps you create, preserve, and realize value more effectively.
Okay. Now, the COSO framework itself, you said it has parts. 5, I think.
That's right, 5 components. They're interconnected, but you can think of them sequentially too. First up is governance and culture. This is the foundation, setting the tone from the top. Ethics, oversight.
The bedrock, kind of?
Yeah, exactly. Then comes strategy and objective setting. This is where ERM gets directly linked into the planning process.
Makes sense.
Third is performance. This is the doing part, finding risks, assessing them, deciding how to respond.
Okay.
Fourth is review and revision. You got to look back, see what's changed, how things are working, and adapt. It's continuous.
Right. Things always change.
Always. And finally, there's information, communication, and reporting. This runs through everything, making sure the right info gets to the right people, internally and externally.
And I remember seeing acronyms for these, like DOVES for governance and culture.
Yes, they provide helpful mnemonics. So DOVES stands for Defines Desired Culture, Board Oversight, Commitment to Core Values, Attracts Capable Employees, and Establishes Operating Structure.
Okay. And strategy and objective setting was SR.
Right. Strategies evaluated, objectives formulated, business context analyzed, Risk appetite defined.
Performance, VPR.
Yep. Develops a portfolio view, assesses severity, prioritizes risks, identifies risks, implements responses.
And review and revision SAR.
Assesses substantial change, pursues improvement in RM, reviews risk and performance.
Last one, information communication reporting, TIP-E.
Leverages information and technology, communicates risk information, reports on risk, culture, and performance.
Okay, that framework seems pretty comprehensive. What are the big wins for an organization that really embraces this?
Well, the benefits can be significant. They often get better at spotting opportunities, not just threats. They tend to achieve their objectives more consistently.
Fewer nasty surprises.
Exactly. Less performance variability. They manage risks across the whole entity better, not just in silos. And importantly, they usually make better use of their resources.
Now, something we hear a lot about is ESG risks. Environmental, social, governance. Does this ERM framework apply there too?
Absolutely. That's a crucial point. The same 5 components, the same logic, applies directly to ESG risks.
So things like climate change impact or...
Yeah, climate change, pollution, environmental, worker health and safety, human rights issues, social.
And governance, like board diversity.
Board composition, diversity, data security, executive pay, all governance issues.
Oh.
The ERM framework gives you a structure to identify, assess, respond to, and report on all of these, just like traditional financial or operational risks.
So wrapping this up then, ERM, especially looking through the COSO lens, it's really a structured, ongoing way for organizations to get a handle on the risks they face while trying to create value.
Exactly. It's not a one-off checklist. It's dynamic. It's integrated into how the organization actually runs.
And for you listening, understanding these ideas gives you a pretty powerful way to look at any organization, right? To assess its potential for success, but also its resilience in, well, what feels like an increasingly complex world.
Definitely valuable perspective.
So maybe here's a final thought to chew on. Think about the companies, the organizations you interact with every day. Your bank, your workplace, maybe even local government. How well do you think they're actually identifying and managing their risks? Not just the obvious business ones, but maybe those ESG risks too. What signs might you look for?